Hello there. Hi, friends. It's yours truly, Dr. AJ Austin, jumping in to join you to number one, say hello. It's been a minute. I ain't seen you in a while. Where you been? What you been doing? I've been behind the scenes, working hard for you, especially if number one, you are one of our Black Women Christian Certified Life Coaches, and number two, if you're one of our future Black Women Christian Certified Life Coaches. Over the past few weeks, we have been gathering grant funding, over $30,000 worth of funding opportunities. Hello, Coach Brenda Williams, one of our Black Women Christian Certified Life Coaches. How are you? So we had grants come through. Praise the Lord, everybody. And I offered some scholarship opportunities that several of you guys jumped on. Also, in honor of Women's History Month, Black History Month, and my upcoming 10-year anniversary as a Black woman certified life coach, I am offering our one-day Black woman Christian life coach certification self-study training program for only $599. Very limited time offer. Things will increase very soon. So if you haven't jumped in, you want to jump in. Something is showing in my background. Y'all looking at my junky table. I've been dosed up on Dayquil, NyQuil, Z-Quil, whatever's in the air here in Georgia. Got my respiratory system just off whack, plus my sinuses. So I've been here with my humidifier and resting, relaxing, recouping, refreshing. Didn't realize how long of a break I actually took from doing my regular Facebook Live. So I am working on getting back in the groove of things. Hopefully you guys will join me. I do plan on being here weekly on Wednesdays for about 30 minutes. Hold me to it. Hold me accountable. Ask me every day, not every day, every week, top of Wednesday. Hey, Dr. AJ, are we going live tonight? Because I got some goodies for you guys. I've been sitting here thinking and praying and taking notes and listening to God and aligning my vision and where we're headed as a coaching company, so that when you come and join us as one of our future Black life coaches, you're even more in sync with what God is telling you to do. So that's what I wanted to make sure that I offer you when I'm back from my off season, which I feel it. Like tonight, I felt like going live. I've been pumping myself up for days. And so I really do want to get back on my weekly Wednesday, but I got to know that you guys are willing to join me. So I'm going to post me here on my page so that those who are not in our group can join us as well. So when you come in the room, just say hello, whether you're in our Facebook group, whether you're in on my page watching. If you're watching this anywhere outside of those two, come join us on one of the two. We're the futureblackLifeCoaches.com website if you're listening on like my podcast or my YouTube, etc. And we will be happy to have you in the coaching community. I want to know, if you want to know why I decided to become a life coach almost 10 years ago. Speaking of the anniversary, that is right around the corner. I'm super excited because I didn't realize it had been that long, but then, of course, you kind of secretly count. But that's a decade of just seeing where things started, where they are, and where they're going. And so I made a quick list of 7 reasons that my coaching coach, I have a coach who coaches life coaches. And it's one of about 3 coaches that I can think of at the time that really keeps me on my toes. Yes, your coach has coaches. And so I keep myself active in coaching programs and always learning. And one of our activities was to really talk about why we became a life coach. So I said, this is a great topic to share with our future Black life coaches because maybe you can relate. Forgive me, y'all. I have dry eyes. I just did my eye drops before I got on here. So if you see me blinking, it's trying to clear whatever's hanging in there. So sorry if it's grossing you out. It's uncomfortable to me too, okay? So one reason I became a life coach was because in 2013, I was working pretty much a dead-end job. And I knew it was a dead-end job because of the person whose place I took in the job. I saw her kind of go downhill. And as she was declining, she let me know this is a dead-end job. And so I knew to come in, setting myself up for what was coming after this. I knew that I wouldn't be there always. There was literally a time limit on it. I was a college student, and I knew that, after graduation, it would have to be something else. Well, it came very shortly very shortly before graduation, my opportunity to bounce came. And so it literally led me to walk off my job. And it caught me off guard because I know that was the higher version of myself. Excuse me, y'all. Still, my eyes is bothering me. But the higher version of myself was just like, I want more. I deserve more. I know this job isn't heading anywhere. I literally used my paycheck from that job once they started showing up. Hint, hint. Y'all will hear the full details of the story at another time. But I used one of the checks that actually showed up to pay for my life coach certification, or to reimburse my friend who had paid for my life coach certification. So she had faith, that one day I'll have money to pay her back. So she paid me just out of trust and confidence, and again, faith in God and in what she saw in me to pay my way to take this class. She paid for me to have a hotel to stay in for 2 days while I got trained. And she took the training like the class or two before me, loved it, and just made sure that I was in the room because I told her I wanted to do it too. And so she paid my way to go, and I used one of my last paychecks from my job to pay her back. Hey, y'all, say hey when you come in the room so I can see who's here. We're talking about why I became a life coach, and it started with reason number one, me walking off my job, but becoming a certified life coach was literally my way out after walking off the job that I knew was going nowhere. And I'm not one of those coaches that tell anybody to quit your job and start your coaching business. Don't. Have a plan. I did not. I walked out of anger and emotion, and who knows what was going on during that time. Hey, Mama Brenda. And I remember going to my car, getting in it in the middle of my workday, driving off campus, down the street to some random parking lot for another business, and crying my eyes out. I called one of my girlfriends, and I'm like, girl, I think I just quit my job. And in between tears and y'all know that type of cry, gasping for breath, I was trying to tell her what had happened leading up to that moment. And I was so confident in leaving, though, because I knew that I had my coach certification. I didn't know what success would look like. I didn't know what my next steps would be. I didn't know where my money would come from, really. I knew I had this skill of a newly certified life coach, but now I did not have even the potential of them someday paying me from this job coming through. That was like off the table officially because I made that decision. And so when you deal with that, plus, previous history of having like jobs downsized and getting laid off, and even when I was like getting unemployment for a while, at some point that ran out. And so now here I am, this certified life coach with this skill to make a difference, to make my own money, and like life at my throat, like you better get our money. So I had to make a decision, and that's what I did. So that's one reason out of my 7 that I became a coach. Hello, welcome. And so becoming a coach, reason number 2 is I wanted to do it because I knew it would add a new skill that I didn't have. I got certified in 2013, and coaching was like trending. It was growing in popularity, even though life coaching as an industry started late 80s, early 90s, I hear. Let me get a sip of water. And so this guy named Thomas J. Leonard founded the industry. He passed away early 2000s, I want to say. Good looking white man. Died at 47 years old. Same age my mom was when she passed away. And to know that he left this legacy for those of us who basically, like I said, life is lifing. You got bills due. You want to learn a new skill, learn something you didn't know, and charge money for it. His legacy allowed me to continue what he started. So I took a training that was from someone else who learned under his tutelage. So learning from someone who learned from the founder of the industry was my end. Like that was my stepping stone, literally the platform that I needed to take this new skill I learned in 2 days. It don't take long. That's why we have the 1-day Black Woman Christian Life Coach Certification Self-Study System. And by the way, If you want to get the $599 opportunity to join us, and not have to pay regular price, then inbox me, or you can email me. Somebody emailed me recently. But my email is aj@thebossof.me if we're not connected on Facebook, or you're watching like on YouTube or listening on the podcast. So let me know, because again, time is limited. Okay. So to be able to take this new skill, which when I got certified, my coach was running a deal too. So, hey, look at that. Look at God, right? So the new skill, the new opportunity for crafting my own career, making my own money, that was added to my tool belt. So coaching was growing as a trend. I kept hearing this term, coach, but I didn't know what it was clearly before I got certified. So I was scared to call myself a coach. I just vowed I would not be one of those people that borrowed a title or borrowed an expertise or borrowed someone else's gift. Didn't want it. I'm like, teach me, because when I know that I know something, it makes it easier for me to sell to someone else. So if I can come to you from an educated place saying I sat and I learned this skill, now let me teach you, it puts me in a more leveraged, empowered, positive, profitable, powerful position as an expert, right? It leads to more respect. You don't have to feel like an imposter. You don't have to feel like, am I guessing? Am I doing this right? Will they find me out? Imposter syndrome, blah, blah, blah. No. I learned this. I literally paid for it, reimbursed my friend back for it, right? And so I was in an empowered position to start a new career. Now, it took me a minute. I ain't even gonna hold you. As the kids say, I've been on TikTok a lot, y'all. But I ain't even gonna lie to you either. I did not graduate life coach certification and just take off running. It was still scary because, again, it was a new skill that I had just learned. So now I need the confidence to go out and practice it. Find people who would trust me to practice it on them, ask to be paid for it, expect to be respected for it, and expect testimonials for how it's working. So I remember getting certified, finding people who trusted me, talking about it online. Like, I still have my first YouTube videos that I posted. Hey, Celestine Townsend, how are you? And so right after certification, I got on YouTube. I recorded some videos because I knew I had to do something. I couldn't just sit on this gift, on this skill. The skill of life coaching actually enhanced the gift that God had already put in me. So that's what a lot of you have to look forward to when you become one of our Black Women Christian Certified Life Coaches. You have a gift. You may not can call it coaching yet, but it feels like if I could just do what the scripture says and let iron sharpen iron, study to show myself approved, not be destroyed for lack of knowledge. Get educated. It sharpens that skill, that gift that's already in you by adding this new skill called coaching. And then, like I said, you can put a price tag on it. And so that's what I did. I recorded some YouTube videos. I put it out there on social media. Hey, y'all, I'm newly certified, looking for clients. Here's the deal. And several people raised their hand from my already formed community, people who knew me when I was literally at the last job. They would come visit me on site. But I'm like, I quit my job, y'all. I'm a certified coach now, and I need coaching clients. Who's in, and here's how much. And my very first, probably, I don't even know when I stopped doing this, but I told my new clients ahead of time, especially the first two, I am going to sit here with my training manual in front of me. It was a 88-page training manual. I'm not going to read every page because I've already studied this more than once. But I will highlight what I know I need to help you get what you want in our life coaching session. How does that sound? They didn't care. They were getting me because they knew I was already gifted. We had already done some previous work together. And they knew that they were getting a good deal because they I know when AJ Austin figures something out, she's going to take it to the next level. And so they volunteered themselves. They watched my journey develop. And so I sat with my coaching manual, read from it, got my clients the same breakthroughs. They were crying. So their eyes are closed. They ain't looking at me reading this manual. They having their own breakthrough because of what I'm reading in the manual and how I'm delivering it, reinforcing my coaching skills. And so that was like God's confirmation of, you have this new skill. It's your way out after the walkout, the layoffs, the downsizing, the unemployment running out. This is your option. You have this in your tool belt. Who can relate to that? Like, if I just had something to add to what I already know God has put in me, I would be good. if I could just add certification to what I do, that confidence to know that I got the skill. I'm not an imposter. I've been professionally trained. Talk to me in the comments if y'all can throw something up. Lately, Facebook has been showing me comments and things after I'm no longer live, which does not serve me while we're live. But talk to me. Let me see what pops up if you're here with me live. Replay viewers, you should be able to do the same thing. I'll see the comment one day. Now, if you're already curious about what we have going on, make sure that you email me, aj@thebossof.me, or if you're live or watching this video replay or listening on a platform that lets you comment, talk to me and we can connect to make sure that you can get into our one-day Black Woman Christian Life Coach Certification Self-Study Training Program for only $599. It's a limited time. If you're live with me and you want the link, let me know. I can put it in the comments while we're here live, but I don't want to waste my time if it ain't for you. But I really do want you guys to talk to me live and or replay and let me know if you've had that, oh my goodness, if I could just get certified and add these skills to what I already do, I will be twice as powerful as I am right now. Is that you? So I'm going down my list of why I became a life coach. I got 7 reasons. We just talked about number 2. So number 3, when I learned about life coaching, it sounded amazing. I was a psychology major starting out at Clark Atlanta University back in the day, CAU, here in Atlanta, Georgia. And so when I heard about coaching, it reminded me of psychology. One thing I knew I didn't want to do with a psychology degree, what I was pursuing a psychology degree at Clark Atlanta for my first 2 years of school. And I knew I didn't want to end up in a psych ward, for number 1. I didn't want to be in a clinic, number 2. I didn't want to be sitting in an office talking to someone, talking about the voices they hear in their heads, aka their demons. That was just like my thing. I didn't want to do it. I don't care what anybody says. That is not what I saw for myself or my future with a degree in psychology. So when I transferred over to Mercer University, they didn't have a psychology program. So it literally stripped away the time I had already put into getting this degree, and also the skill that I thought I would someday use with a degree in psychology. But they did have a training and development program. And I remember meeting a lady, her name was Dr. Lankin. She ended up being my advisor at Mercer. And she said, you're already out in the community. You do a lot of speaking. You help people, because I was recommended to Mercer because someone heard me speak about my life coaching. They heard me speak about my life story. They heard me speak about the books that I had written. Before all of this happened, before I got certified as a life coach. So my advisor got wind of that. And she said, you already do this. You're already training. Just get your degree in training and development. And I said, now you starting to sound like my mom. And that was literally my mom's dying wish, for me to finish my degree or finish my education, as she would say, make something of yourself, as she would say. So I went ahead and graduated at Mercer University 2016 and got my degree in training and development. Still got the background in psychology, still didn't want to be in a clinic. But when I got wind of this new thing called life coaching, I was like, that's it. So it allowed me to combine my background in psychology, learning about human behavior. And when I got my doctoral degree in Christian psychology, it was I'm going to put it like this lady just put it this past weekend at a conference when she heard I was Dr. AJ Austin. And I had been given an honorary degree in Christian psychology from a Bible university in Lagos, Nigeria. And she said, that honor was bestowed upon you from the motherland? And I was like, oh, that was good. So the honor of becoming Dr. AJ Austin with an honorary degree in Christian psychology was bestowed upon me from the motherland, okay? Directly from Africa. And so sometimes it takes going beyond, where you grew up, where you started, where you had to leave, wipe your feet off and keep pushing, to be recognized for your gift globally. And so that's exactly what happened when I decided I'm going to show up as a coach. I'm going to speak. I'm going to get my degree, which, by the way, you don't have to have a degree to become a certified life coach. I do get that question a lot. And no, I just got my degrees because I'm a nerd. My mom made sure that my head stayed in the books. So that's why that was her wish. That was her degree. The certificate was for me. But I also combined it with other work that I was doing, and the Christian psychology honor was for 30 years in the Christian ministry. So all of this while I'm walking off my jobs and getting laid off and unemployment not happening and me getting certified and trying out this new thing called coaching and trying to graduate college, I was still serving the Lord. I was still in church. So all of that work was not in vain. And that honor bestowed upon me from the motherland is what sealed the deal because of my 30 years in ministry. Now it's 30 plus. But I thought that was amazing how that was worded. And so that's how I say it now. So when I heard about life coaching, I knew that I could use what I had learned in psychology, studying human behavior, now studying the human behavior of Black Christian women. Y'all, we are so different. We learn different. We talk different. We pray different. We work different. We are careful who speaks into our life. We're always pouring out and pouring into someone else. We're always serving and volunteering and showing up and leading and raising our hands and going first and being called on and pray. You see how I can keep going? Because I've studied us I've been a woman all my life. So I know us. But to go outside of my world and to see us in a different light in the academic setting, training and development, and now in the online space, we are so different. And so I knew that I had to become a part of a world that would open up this world for other women. Like, do they know about this thing called coaching? Do they know that they could take what they've always wanted to do, that itch that's hard to scratch in the heart, that you want to help and serve and make money? And I wish if I left this job today, I could go make money. I got to tell more people. And that's exactly what I did. And so my heart was telling God that all the time. Like, God, I know I'm called for more than this. What else you got? Because like I said, I didn't hit the ground running going to land clients. I was speaking, I was writing, I was coaching for free and discounts and building up the courage and the confidence to host events and to go out and do even more. And so my trainer and my trainer friends in the coaching space saw what I was doing, and I was offered an opportunity to come train, and that's what I did. But I love that I took the route to becoming a certified life coach because it turned out it was a lot cheaper than getting a $100,000 psychology degree. I still had that student loan debt, but I had a quicker, cheaper route than becoming like a counselor or a psychologist. That was my goal. I just really, since being a young girl, just literally wanted the title doctor in front of my name. And when I discovered that I didn't have to become a doctor of medicine, I could become a doctor of theology, that was my life goal. And I didn't know this is how God would give it to me, but I'm so excited to be on this journey. And I'm excited about how it started, where it started, when it started, and why it started. And I'm glad that God is on this journey with me. And so with us being a Christian coaching company, meeting others like you who are also Christians, I bring y'all along on this journey. Like, let's talk, let's show up, let's break down, why I started. Now, what's your thing? Why are you starting? Why are you wanting to become a coach? And I'm hoping you're considering joining us as one of our future coaches because, again, it is cheaper than trying to get a degree in counseling. It is a lot of fun. I love what I do. I do what I love. Like, I have just, the last few days especially are really top of mind. Just wake up with such joy and such clarity and such confirmation. Today even, I was working on a project where I had to really break down what we do when we certify our Black Christian women. And I cried to see it like on the screen, out of my brain. Like, I talk about it all the time, but to have to write it out and show people and they like, oh. And then for someone else to catch the vision and run with it, like the Bible says, write the vision, make it plain, so that he who reads it can run with it. One of the last times I shared this vision, a lady I got to find out where she is. I know she has an accent. She's in another country. She's somewhere else in the world. But she read my mission and my vision. And she said, not only do we see the work that you've done, but we see your work going well beyond you. She said, with you training your coaches, you'll never know how many other people they impact because of what you teach them. And it was written in red ink. That was her response back to me on my written vision statement. And so it reminded me of, teachers all my life saying you have a bright future ahead of you. Keep asking questions. You're the generational curse breaker. All of that was confirmed with this vision God has given me to help women like you right now. And so a lot of the stuff that I do behind the scenes, I don't share online just because, it's taking me a minute to process. And then I really want you, as you hear it and learn it, to let it capture your heart in the space that God has you. Because I want you to feel this passionate about what he's telling you to do. I want you to have moments of clarity and crying and be like, okay, I just need a break, Jesus. Let me just breathe and process this, or get on the phone with your coach, because that's what I do. Like, hey, talk to me because I'm having a moment. I need you to have that type of support for the vision that God has given you. And so when I show up on platforms like this, it's for you to hear my heart, but let it capture your heart with where you are and with where you see God taking you. So far, we've talked about 1 through 4 out of my 7 reasons as to why I became a life coach. Are you resonating? Is this hitting home? Do you hear me? I don't see any talk back in the comments. So I'm going to keep breaking down my list. Maybe I'll see y'all's comments at the end. Maybe y'all just really listening. Or maybe, just maybe, you're multitasking and you like, maybe you're washing dishes in your hands whether you can't reach the keyboard. I feel you in the spirit. Just send something. Send me a little dove in the spirit or something. Be like, okay, I hear you, Dr. AJ, I'm with you. Number 5 on my list of 7 reasons as to why I became a certified life coach. I wanted more. I wanted more than to be stuck in the office. I already told you I didn't want to be in a clinic. I didn't want to be in an office. I didn't really want to be one-on-one talking about what was not working in someone's life. I didn't want to have anyone on a treatment plan or have to diagnose any type of mental illnesses. Quite frankly, I was in the wrong industry. It was me being a psychology major was me trying to find my way through life. I knew I wanted to be a doctor. I thought I would be a medical doctor until my mom caught double pneumonia. And I was in high school, I think it was. And when I walked in the ICU unit and opened those doors, and I was like, if she is gone, I'm going to lose it. Because I just wasn't prepared to process that. And something happened where something dealing with some snot and some blood. Forgive me, because I'm being like very raw today, okay? But my mom said, you cannot handle the sight of blood. I'm going to need you to change your major. And that was confirmation, because I also didn't want to be in a hospital dealing with sickness and disease. And what really got me was an internship I did in high school in my 12th grade year. It was 11th or 12th grade, but I used to get to leave school early and go work in the hospital so that I can see what I was literally signing myself up for as a future Dr. AJ Austin. And I wanted to be what's called a neonatal something. I forgot. I just remember neonatal, and that meant when they delivered the babies, we would get them and count their fingers and their toes and make sure they were born, quote unquote, normal with all the extremities. And we had a little chart where you would have to check off, 10 fingers, 10 toes. And then I was like, wait a minute. So you telling me that all babies ain't born with 10 fingers? Now, I was in high school, so work with me because my brain's still developing. I'm young. Life is just started. But I just had the realization that all babies aren't born, quote unquote, normal. They won't all have the 10 fingers, 10 toes. And I just knew in my soul, in my being, that I would be in that hospital crying worse than the mamas and the daddies and the grandmama and them. And I wouldn't know this child, but I would just be in a sad place all the time. And it reminded me of Oprah's story, because she said the same thing when she was in journalism. And she was a newscaster, and she crying because people's houses were burning down and they didn't have nowhere to go. And Oprah was like, this ain't for me. Same, Oprah. Same. And the ironic part, my mom actually looked like Oprah back in the 80s. The big afro, dark-skinned, beautiful lady with a gap in her teeth, just gorgeous. And to know that my story now resonates with where Oprah says she was too at a young age, I just knew it wasn't in the hospital and it wasn't in the clinic talking to crazy spirits and demons and things like that, okay? And so because I wanted more, because I didn't want to be stuck, that leads us to reason number 6 of 7. I wanted to feel and believe that I was validated. And so I knew getting certified, learning the skill, still being able to apply psychology, at least the parts that I stuck with long enough in school, didn't get credit for at Mercer, but I could mix all of that together. And it was now called life coaching. It was this new industry that was growing and on the rise and still is to this day, which is why I invite you to become one of our future Black life coaches, and let me know if you need the link. I'm happy to send that to you to get signed up for only $599 in honor of Women's History Month, Black History Month. We're still celebrating. in my upcoming 10-year anniversary as a certified life coach. And so I knew I wanted the skill. I knew I wanted the knowledge because, again, it was a lot quicker than trying to get a degree as a counselor and then go do all the other stuff that I didn't even know came after that first degree as a regular medical doctor, as a regular counselor, etc. Now I know. I can compare and contrast life coaching and counseling, and I often do in my lives and TikToks, hint, hint, and all of the other things that I teach. But I wanted to know that I had that skill to literally pay the bills. And so because I could sit with my coaching clients with my manual out, read the activities, walk them through it, ask them questions, and they still cry, get transformations and breakthroughs, I knew I had found a portion of my calling. But when I was invited 1 week after I walked across my graduation stage, and my coaching colleagues had no idea that I had just graduated with my degree in training and development. But 1 week after walking across that stage, getting that degree from Mercer University in training and development, I received an invitation to come train coaches. And they said, "We've watched you." I ain't know they were paying attention like that. 3 of them kind of like ganged up. "You ready? We've seen you progress since getting trained, and we want you to come train up the other coaches." And I'm so glad I said yes. So that's number 7 in my reason for becoming a life coach. I wanted that official title of becoming a coach, but I also wanted the certificate to say I did it. And I got it. So while going through everything we've talked about, layoffs, downsizes, walking off jobs, unemployment running out, lifing, bills due, I now had this new skill as a life coach, had been trained. My friend paid my way. I paid her back with one of my last checks from the job I walked off of. But I had access to this amazing sounding new industry that was fun to learn about. I had new options for learning. It was a quicker, cheaper route than trying to get a degree in something that I didn't even know I really didn't want to do. But I was no longer stuck. I was no longer wondering, where is this going to lead? It was no longer a dead end. I could write my future. And so I wanted to believe with that validation, and that certificate did that. Also, my degree in training and development did that. And now having this invitation extended to me to come train coaches, I was ready. The rest is her story, right? So we're going to talk about coming up my experience as a client, because what we went through today was why I became a coach. But just because you become a coach don't mean that you don't need a coach. And I told y'all I got 3 coaches that I'm thinking of right off the top of my head. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. If you're watching one of my coaches, let me know, because they be sneaking up. They be watching. I be getting them notifications. But anyway, hey coaches, if you're watching. So right now I can think of 3 off the top of my head. And I have been on the other end getting the coaching. And so on our next chat, which mark your calendar, I'm going to try to be here next week, Wednesday, around this time, 7-ish, 7:30-ish. We're on daylight savings right now. So, it was just in my spirit. I think it's like cranking back up from last spring. Like, you would usually be on live about this time. Let's go live. So look for us to go live. I'm going to try to remember to make some reminders that'll pop up in our Facebook group, etc. Maybe send an email or 2. I'm working on it. Y'all pray with me, okay? But I want to tell you my experience and the reasons why I started to hire my own coaches and work with coaches. And some of them, I was their guinea pigs and helping them, fresh out of whatever they were working on. And so I'm going to walk through the reasons why I became a coaching client in addition to coaching. So if you have any questions about anything I've shared about my 7 reasons I became a life coach, let me know. Because then, going from being a coach to becoming a coaching client and also being a coach trainer, all 3 different experiences. And I'm going to break down those next 2 coming up in our future chat. So thank you for hanging out with this weekly Wednesday, just chat. I jumped on. I was like, I'm doing it. Hopefully those of you who were not here with us live, or those whose comments I may have missed, I just don't see any here. And I don't know if it's Facebook or, again, you guys were just listening really well. I saw some numbers pop up. Somebody was on here with me hanging out. Thank you, girl. And so As long as you guys, want content like this, I'm happy to offer it. Usually it helps sharing behind the scenes and sharing my experience. I enjoy sharing about it. But again, I want to know that this is what you want. So talk to me in the comments, even if we're no longer live. Okay. That's all I got. Thank you for listening. I only planned on being here about 30 minutes. Let's see, how long did I make it? Because my coach, okay, 35 minutes, coach. Because I have a social media coach that's like, you got to do at least 30 minutes. So I did about 30 minutes. We would usually do Q&A, but I don't see any Q's to A. So until we meet again, my friends, remember, there's someone somewhere and they are waiting on you, Future Black Life Coach, to number one, email me at aj@thebossof.me if you're listening outside of our Facebook platforms or any platform that has a comment area. Let me know you want more information on getting the training for $5.99 in honor of Women's History Month, Black History Month, and my upcoming 10-year anniversary. And I think that's it. Until we meet again, my friends, remember there's someone somewhere waiting on you to walk in your destiny so they can walk into theirs, because it's when you let your own light shine, you give others permission to do the same. And as a future Black life coach, remember, when you impact one life, you are impacting generations. That's what it's about. That's the vision. That's the bigger picture. That's what we stand for as a coach certification company for Black Christian women. And I'm happy to share more about that with you coming soon. I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you again soon. I'm about to go lay down and get on TikTok. Y'all have a great day. God bless. Bye, future Black life coaches.